So guys, let's talk about these CP 2000 notices, how we need to address it, when to reach out to a tax professional and get this handled. My name is Christian Onyemem. I'm a certified public accountant and also a certified fraud examiner. And let's just dive into it. These CP 2000 letters is basically the IRS letting you know that, hey, we reported something that should have been on your tax return that you did not report. And therefore, they're assessing their own tax liability from that missing support that was not on the tax return. I'm gonna say it one more time. It's the IRS giving you notice that we basically adjusted your tax liability to a different amount because you left off some information on your tax report. So most people just, okay, yeah, I guess I gotta pay that. But you can do an audit reconsideration, package your documents, your proof showing that, hey, what you're saying is actually false. We calculated this income right here. It just so happened to be on my business tax return that I already paid taxes for. So what we need to do is basically package up our information, package up our support, and then we need to reach out to what we call the unreported income department that the IRS has. Once we do that, they're going to ask for all the support and also a letter explaining that the IRS is wrong on their assessment and that we're right. I can tell you about a case that recently just happened. I had a client, he had a personal tax return and he also had a business. The IRS was saying that, hey, we noticed that there's some 1099s linked to your Social Security account, your transcripts, excuse me, and you did not report it on your tax return. Therefore, we're going to assess that for you. There's two ways to kind of go about it. Well, there's multiple ways to kind of go about it, but there was two ways we wanted to break it down. It was basically say, hey, did you not file this? He said, yeah, I did file this. This is on my business tax return. So all we had to do, we didn't have to amend any taxes. All we had to do was show proof that the income that the IRS said that wasn't claimed was actually claimed on the business tax return and that it wasn't considered part of the taxpayer's personal income. We have to break out the expenses and the income associated with the business and the personal, and we have to show that to the unreported income department that the IRS has. They looked at the information, everything went through fine, right? Everything was good. In most cases, people say, oh, I just forgot to file that. I forgot to file those 1099s and not claim it. If that's the case, yes, we need to amend the taxes, but remember, when the IRS is doing these assessments, they don't factor in your business expenses. So yes, we can amend the taxes, and then we can also claim your business expenses, which is going to drop down your tax liability and your assessed amount. When the IRS is assessing these things, they assess at the highest amount. They don't factor in certain credits or deductions. They're not doing that for you. We have to go back and amend those tax returns and file it correctly. And this is for our business owners, right? So keep that in mind. The more of the story, these CP 2000 letters, there are notices that there's a discrepancy that needs to be solved. Most of the times we can either amend the taxes, file it correctly for my business owners, or we can package up our information if you feel like, hey, I already accounted for this. You can package up that information and we can send it off to that audit department for it to get reassessed, and they're going to assess it, and usually in most cases it gets approved if the documents are clear, cut, and sound for them to walk through and say, okay, I see, it's right there, that's right there, we were wrong on our assessment, we're going to adjust this and reverse out the account, right? That's how you want it to go. I do suggest with these audit reconsiderations, you talk to a professional. I'm not trying to sell you or anything. It's just these things can get complicated. And then sometimes the IRS agents don't know what they're doing sometimes because they may be new to the department. So you want to hire a professional that knows the ins and outs of the tax system so they can solve this on a efficient manner, right? You don't want them wasting time or dragging out this case. So please reach out to a tax professional to get these things solved. It can really save you some money and clear any headaches, and that tax professional can provide you protection.